Listen.
Everything we say and do has real consequences.
Elmhurst, Corona, Astoria, LIC.
I see you, and you see me.
Hey there, I'm Harris Duran. I am the writer-director-adapter of I See You and You See Me. I See You and You See Me is a film theater hybrid where you have the feeling of theater through the medium of film.
In March and April, the Queens community was especially hard hit by COVID. We were the epicenter of the epicenter. And the amount of loss and anxiety and grief that our community was experiencing, and then the murder of George Floyd, we knew that the performing arts were needed more than ever, but had to happen in different ways than they did before.
I wanted to respect the fact that this was a project of Queens Theater, and how do we continue to feel like we are experiencing theater even in a different medium? And so that was a question I put forth to myself. It brings up the question, what is theater?
We had an engagement with the Queens Memory Project at the Queens Library, and they let me know that they had a bunch of archives of people's oral histories submitted from COVID. And so when I met Harris and learned about his work and watched his films, I thought, here's a guy who's Queens-based, born and bred, and I thought would be the perfect collaborator for this particular project.
I was really intrigued by this project because it was the idea of taking these real stories of people from my homeland of Queens, and from listening to and reading so many different stories, I started to get the sense of that no matter how different people were, we were all sharing the same experience. Even though it feels like we're in our houses and we're so alone, that we actually are all at the same time together. That ended up being the point of the movie.
It was important to us to create something that had the richness and the uniqueness and that quality that theatrical events have, but have it be consumed the way that you consume a film.
The story of how we made this project is just as important as what it is.
The original idea was we would shoot all of these monologues at the theater because there's 3 different theaters. It's really beautiful. And we found out because of COVID protocol, which was quickly changing of what is safe for actors, we weren't allowed to actually film all the actors at the theater. And so it ended up being that we did some over Zoom and some social distance and some at the theater. And basically it was me and my DP Oscar filming at the theater in virtual hazmat suits. But it gave the piece a diversity of looks, which I think gave you the sense of movement that a film does while still giving you the intimacy of theater.
This project is very special because it's a project for Queens, by Queens, and about Queens. Every story, image, video clip in this movie that we didn't create ourselves were archived at the Queens Memory Project and are found.
I got all of these stories from Queens Memory Project. And some of them, the way they were written, that's how they are in the film. Some were adapted by me, some were written by me. Then I got some amazing actors to come in and bring life to these pieces. And so there was this beautiful symmetry between the pieces that were written by people really experiencing something and then bringing in actors who also were experiencing something, and combining those experiences together. And that's what you have in the end, is this merging of being both artist and experiencer and interpreter all at once. Actors want to act and artists want to art. And this was an opportunity when no one was doing anything for people to be able to actually do something. And that was really powerful because doing your art, it is like riding a bicycle. You don't forget, but you also need to ride that bicycle. So I think it was really empowering emotionally and psychologically and spiritually for the people who worked on this film, because it really gave everyone purpose. And I think that was really important.
Queens Theater was founded over 30 years ago with a mission to reflect and serve our uniquely diverse community in a borough where over 204 languages are spoken every day, and diversity here is at a level unseen in other communities. And reflecting and celebrating the diversity of Queens is central to all of the programming that we do.
I think that we made it with the love and respect and intentionality that our community deserves. I think it reflects accurately what people's experiences are, for better and for worse, whether they're really hyper-focused on their own experience, like what they're cooking in their kitchen, or their health, we're thinking about the wider world, Black Lives Matter, and the impact and all this stuff around us. This experience has not been one thing for all people.
And I think this film / theater hybrid gives people the opportunity to see what other people were going through, and that we can see into people's living rooms and into people's windows and see them there alone, and we feel that we ourselves are not as alone as we thought.
Sometimes change comes at moments of crisis. And I think it culturally and logistically we reached this point of no return. So the only thing we could do is take a leap of faith off of this cliff and commit to this project that would have some real implications for our community members. And hopefully we've done a good job of honoring where they are.
We really wanted to do something that would reflect, support, serve, capture, highlight the community members. But how can you give people a theatrical experience in their homes? That was part of the challenge, and I think that the project really delivers on that.